Yeah, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. This one's going to be a little bit different. As you know, I am a huge fan of photography. It takes up pretty much all of my weekends. And of course, sneakers and basketball is a huge part of my life as well. So, if you happen to follow my Instagram, I really thoroughly enjoy taking pictures of sneakers. It's what I love to do, amongst many other things. So what I wanted to do in this video is just to share with you guys. That's it, and share with you how I edit my sneaker photos. Sometimes they're just a quick little touch up here. You know, I just use the app on the iPhone. But there are many times where I'll actually upload the photos onto my MacBook, and I use a software program called Lightroom, where I'll go into a little more, detailed, a little more thorough type of editing. Just because it's fun. It's like what I like to do. So all I want to do is share with you guys, okay? So what we'll do, we're going to switch over to the screen of my MacBook, and I'm doing a screen recording, and you'll see what goes on. Oh, there's a little bit of there's some footage of myself, like I guess behind the scenes, of taking an actual photo and the location and kind of trying this pose or this position or moving the camera. So I think I'll talk in a little more detail about that once we head to that footage. Okay, guys, I know this video is different, but I hope you like it. Alright guys, let's check it out. Alright guys, so this is the river behind my house, and this is the location I chose for the shot. So I've got my camera on the mini tripod. You can see there's two rows of stones, one on the very right edge of the screen and the one that I'm working with. So I'm just leveling the camera, just making sure it's straight and kind of setting up the composition a little bit. Up next, you'll see me soon. I'm going to start fiddling with some buttons. I'm going to connect my phone. The camera actually has its own Wi-Fi network, so you can connect through an app. So you can control the camera, all the settings, and the phone becomes a monitor as well, so you can see exactly what you're doing. So I cautiously step around the camera and jump onto the next stone and try to take the picture. But once I got on there, regardless of the folks and their dogs in the background, regardless of that, once I got into position, it was like, it's not exactly how I wanted things to look. I was trying to incorporate the bridge. There's a bridge above me, and I was trying to use it as kind of like somewhat of like leading lines. And so one of the big things in photography is, if you don't like it and you play around with it, move to another angle, move to a different position, and see if you can get the framing or the composition that you want. As soon as I stepped on there, looked through my iPhone, I was like, okay, this is the composition I wanted. And then after that, move around, and you could try just different poses, and move your shoes or your foot this way or that way, or move to the left, move to the right, and eventually like something will click. Or at least for me, that's what happens. So something will just hit it, and you take a picture, you can review it on your phone, and like, yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. And sure enough, that's what happened here. And in this position, just move the shoes a little bit, click, and as soon as I reviewed it, I was like, yep, that's the one I want right there. So I think you'll see me with a little bit of a thumbs up. I was like, oh yes, this is the one. So now we'll move into the next part of the video, and let's edit. Alright, so here we have a picture from the left row of stones. Earlier I was talking about how I didn't really like the composition. And what I mean by that is over here is the bridge, and I wanted to include it in the image, but obviously you can't see it. So you move the camera around, change your position or location, and you try to figure things out until you're satisfied with what it looks like, whatever you're trying to create. Here you go. So now I'm on the right row of stones, and you can obviously see the bridge and kind of like the leading lines. So yeah, Sure, the leading lines are not leading directly to the shoe, which is the main subject of the picture, but it just adds a little something and a little bit of perspective to the overall image. So anyways, moving on, the next thing I usually do when I'm editing is sometimes I'll just hit the auto button and just see what the software Lightroom thinks what the picture should look like. So I'm just going to click on that here, and you can see everything's a little bit brighter. So it really, you got to understand there are absolutely no rules when it comes to photography. That's my opinion. It's just whatever the look that you're going for, or maybe the look that your client has requested. So I'm out here, I'm just shooting a sneaker picture for myself, and for this type of vibe, it was overcast, it wasn't that bright of a day, so I actually will go back to what it looks like out of the camera. So now I'll just do a few things, what I want to do to it. So I will bring up the exposure just a tad, just a little bit. And then contrast, it's fine to me. I don't think I need to add any contrast. I'll leave it as is. I will bring down the highlights. So highlights are the bright parts of your image. So, the sole here, the midsole, obviously the sky. So if you have any AJ1s or familiar with them, they have texture along the midsole, and you can see it a little bit there. Hopefully YouTube's rendering of this screen grab is not too bad. But if I bring it down a little bit, now you can see a little bit more detail in the midsole. Blacks, I'll drop the blacks. I like kind of a stronger vibe in my pictures usually. Clarity, I'll bring that up a little bit. And I think that's about it. I'm not going to mess around with color right now, actually. So the next thing, there are times where I'll just, quickly post a picture. But if I do sit down and do the editing on my MacBook Pro, I will do a little more kind of detailed type of editing. So by that, what I mean is I'll go up to the masking tool here, select subject, and the software is going to figure out that the shoe and my leg it's the main subject, and 9 times out of 10 the software does an amazing job. It has kind of excluded the back pant here, and that's fine. It actually doesn't bother me at all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invert it. So I'll click on the invert, and now it's selected the background, everything but the shoe. And I'll bring down the exposure actually and make everything in the background a little bit darker. Not, I won't go too far with it. You don't want to make things look a little bit crazy or fake. But like that, to me, this is actually what it looked like on the day now already. Like I said, it was a darker, overcast day. Cool. So that looks good. I'm just going to leave it like that. Now I'm going to add another mask. Select subject. And now I'm going to work with the shoe. So I could actually bring up the shoe a little bit, make it a little bit brighter, kind of pop out. Not too much, maybe right around there. That looks decent to me. The contrast, I'm going to leave it alone. Still, now that I brought up the exposure, I still don't want to look too crazy. So I'll just calm down with the highlights a little bit again. Shadows, I'm fine with the shadows. The contrast between light and dark is cool. It's cool. Add a little clarity and stuff like that. That's about it. As a whole, I'm not going to mess with the color and the vibrancy of it right now. I'm going to do that for the overall picture. So maybe, I don't know if I need to add any sharpness. No, I'm just going to leave it as is. So I'll turn that off. So now I'm back to the more universal editing of the entire image. And what I want to do is I actually want to make the green in my pant a little bit more, give a little bit more life. So with saturation, I'm just going to turn up greens. This will turn the greens up in the entire image. So cool. Yep, that looks dope to me. The luminance of it, I will bring, make it a little stronger. See, it just has a little more grit to it now. As far as the pant leg goes, it's just showing more. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, the last thing I'm probably going to do for this picture is I am a person that does like vignetting. Not for all pictures, but certain pictures have a vibe to it, and I actually do like vignetting. So here we are with vignetting. Not too crazy with it. That's probably about it right there. Yeah. And that's it. Now, one thing that I also wanted to mention, this picture has, taken horizontally. Landscape is kind of the term we would use, but I actually prefer vertical. We call it portrait, and here it is in portrait mode. So yes, it is a slightly different foot position, but you can see the way that I've done my framing, kind of cropped out the right side of the stone, and even more so now you can see the bridge. And this is actually my preferred style. The reason I'm showing you this one is just to fill up the 16:9 ratio on your screen for YouTube. So I could copy and paste the settings onto this image, and I do believe I posted this picture already on Instagram. So it really depends on what you're shooting, the subject, and where you're at, and then you could decide between horizontal, landscape, or vertical, which would be portrait here. So to each their own. Whatever you like to do, whatever you like to create, whatever looks good for you, what makes you smile, that's all that matters. All right, so it's a rather simple editing process for this one, nothing too extravagant, but you can see how we darkened the background using the masking tool, and then we made the actual shoe kind of pop out a little bit more. This is the edited one here, so you can see my final edit. Oops, sorry, there's my final. Let me get the cursor out of the way, and then you have the original. All right, so edited and original. Cool, guys. Well, that's it. Thank you for tuning into the video. I hope you found it interesting for those of you who are into like photography and editing and stuff like that. If you have any questions, for sure leave them in the comment section, or you can hit me up over on Instagram. And just get out there, shoot something, and enjoy. Photography is an amazing thing that human beings have created, and I'm just I'm absolutely in love with it. Even as I get older and older and older, my love for it just continues to grow. Same as basketball. Okay, guys, take care, be safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.